You've been doing it all wrong. You've been chasing, forcing, demanding that life bend to your will. You've been sending desperate energy out into the universe, hoping that somehow, through sheer force of will, you could make things happen. But here's what Buddhism has understood for thousands of years. The moment you stop chasing is the moment everything begins to come to you. This isn't mystical nonsense. This is physics. This is energy. This is how the universe actually works. When you're desperate, you're low frequency. When you're at peace, you're high frequency. And the universe or life or circumstances or whatever you want to call it responds to your frequency. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. So the real question isn't how do I get what I want? The real question is, who do I need to become so that what I want naturally comes to me? The answer lies in these 10 Buddhist lessons. Master them and you'll stop chasing. You'll stop forcing. And you'll become a magnet for everything your soul desires. Asterisk 1. Desperation repels, peace attracts. This is the first lesson and perhaps the most important. Every time you desperately chase something, you send out a frequency that says, I don't have this, I'm incomplete without it, I need it to be okay. And the universe receives that signal loud and clear. It mirrors it back. It shows you more of what you're broadcasting: lack, incompleteness, need. But when you release the desperation and become peaceful with what is, something shifts. You're no longer broadcasting lack. You're broadcasting wholeness, abundance, completeness. And the universe begins to mirror that back too. Things that seemed impossible suddenly become possible. Opportunities appear that weren't visible before. People who can help you seem to randomly show up. This isn't coincidence, it's resonance, like attracts like. A person radiating peace attracts peaceful circumstances, peaceful people, peaceful outcomes. A person radiating desperation attracts chaotic circumstances, chaotic people, chaotic drama. The desperation doesn't get you what you want faster. It pushes it further away. A monk once said, "The deer runs from the hunter, but the moment it stops and stands still, the hunter loses its trail." Your desperation is the deer running. It creates noise. It creates movement. It creates a target. But when you become still, when you become peaceful, when you release the chase, you become invisible to what you don't want and magnetic to what you do. So the first mastery is this: learn to be at peace without what you're seeking. This is not giving up. This is liberation. When you can say, I want this, but I'm okay without it. I desire this, but my peace doesn't depend on it. That's when the real magic begins. 2. Detachment is the highest form of power. Buddhism teaches something that seems backward. The more you let go, the more you get. The more you detach from outcomes, the more quickly they arrive. The more you release your grip on what you want, the more tightly it seems to come to you. This is because detachment changes your energy. When you're attached, you're needy. You're checking constantly. You're anxious. You're sending out the frequency of someone who fears loss. But when you're detached, you're trusting. You're grounded. You're sending out the frequency of someone who knows they're okay either way. And here's the paradox. People are attracted to people who don't need them. Opportunities come to people who don't desperately need them. Success flows to people who aren't obsessed with it. Why? Because detachment is a sign of strength. It's a sign of self-sufficiency. It's a sign that you have something valuable to offer because you're not coming from desperation. Think about dating. The person who's desperate for a relationship repels potential partners. But the person who's happy being single, who doesn't need someone to complete them, attracts people effortlessly. The difference is energy. The detached person is high frequency. The desperate person is low frequency. Apply this to everything: career, money, health, relationships. The moment you shift from I need this to I want this but I'm okay without it, your entire frequency changes. And with it, what comes to you changes. A practice: pick something you're desperately chasing. Now say, I release my attachment to this outcome. I will do my best, but I trust the universe to deliver what's best for me, whether it's what I think I want or something better. Feel how your body responds. Feel the peace that arrives when you let go. That peace is the frequency that magnetizes. 3. Acceptance accelerates everything. Most people think acceptance means giving up on their desires, but acceptance is actually the fastest path to having them. When you accept what is right now, when you stop resisting the present moment, you free up enormous amounts of energy. That energy was being used to fight reality, to say, this shouldn't be, why isn't it happening yet, this is unfair, this is taking too long. When you release that fight, that energy becomes available for creation, for movement, for actual progress. Acceptance also clears your mind. An accepted mind is a clear mind. A clear mind can see opportunities that a resistant, frustrated mind cannot. A clear mind can make wise decisions. A resistant mind is clouded by emotion and can't think straight. The Buddha taught the seed does not fight the soil. The river does not fight the banks. The sky does not fight the wind. They accept and flow. And in that flowing, they reach their destination. You're the same. When you stop fighting where you are, you begin moving toward where you want to be far more efficiently. Acceptance also builds trust, and trust is magnetic. When you trust that everything is working out, even if you can't see how, your energy is calm and grounded. And calm, grounded energy attracts. It magnetizes. It opens doors that desperate, resistant energy keeps closed. 4. Patience is a superpower. In a world obsessed with instant results, patience has become almost extinct. But Buddhism teaches that patience is one of the greatest powers you can develop, because patience means you're not in a hurry. And when you're not in a hurry, you're not desperate. And when you're not desperate, you're magnetic. Patience also allows for proper timing. Many things fail not because they're not meant for you, but because the timing is wrong. But when you're patient, when you wait for the right moment, when you don't force things before they're ready, everything flows. Seeds grow in their own time, not by pushing, not by demanding, but by patience and care. Patience also demonstrates faith. It says, I trust that this is coming. I don't need to rush. I don't need to force. I can wait. And that faith, that deep trust, is incredibly magnetic. The universe or God or life, or whatever you believe in, responds to faith. It rewards those who believe enough to wait. A monk once said, a tree doesn't rush its growth. An acorn doesn't demand to be a tree immediately, but given time and care, it becomes the mightiest oak. You are the same. Your life is growing, but you must be patient. You must trust the process. And in that trust, everything comes faster than it ever could through force. 5. Alignment is magnetism. There's a difference between wanting something and being aligned with it. You can want a healthy body while eating poorly. You can want a loving relationship while mistreating people. You can want success while sabotaging yourself. Wanting without alignment is just fantasy. But when you align yourself with what you desire, when you become the person who would naturally have what you want, it comes to you effortlessly. Alignment means your thoughts, your words, your actions, your energy all point in the same direction. They're all saying the same thing. If you want abundance but your thoughts are of scarcity, you're misaligned. If you want love but your actions are defensive, you're misaligned. If you want success but your beliefs say you're not worthy, you're misaligned. But when you align, when your thoughts are abundant, your actions are generous, your beliefs are confident, and your energy is peaceful, you become magnetic. Things flow to you, not because you force them, but because you've become the natural resting place for them. Think of it like this. If you want a healthy relationship, you must become someone worth being in a healthy relationship with. If you want success, you must become someone who thinks, acts, and believes like a successful person. The outside follows the inside. The external follows the internal. When you align inside, the outside arranges itself to match. Asterisk 6. Karma is the law of energy. Buddhism teaches karma, which is often misunderstood as punishment and reward. But karma simply means action. Every action has a consequence. Every thought has an effect. Every word creates a ripple. This is not about punishment from some external force. It's about the natural law of cause and effect. When you send out generous energy, generous things come back. When you send out loving energy, loving people appear. When you send out service energy, opportunities to be served appear. This is karma. This is the law of the universe. What you give is what you get. So if you want to magnetize abundance, you must give. You must be generous. You must serve. You must contribute, not out of obligation, but from genuine generosity. The person who gives freely, who serves without expecting return, becomes wealthy in all ways. Not because the universe is rewarding them, but because they've aligned themselves with the frequency of abundance through their actions. A practice: give more than you receive. Serve more than you expect to be served. Help more than you expect to be helped. And watch how your life begins to change. Not immediately, but gradually and then suddenly. Because karma is always working, and the energy you send out is always coming back. 7. Service is the highest form of magnetism. One of the greatest Buddhist principles is bodhisattva, the path of service. The idea that the highest calling is to help others. But here's what most people don't realize. Service is also the most magnetic path you can walk. When you focus on serving, on giving, on contributing, you stop being focused on yourself. And paradoxically, that's when life gives most to you. Why? Because a person dedicated to service is high frequency. They're not thinking about their own lack. They're thinking about how to help, and that energy attracts. Also, when you serve, you build relationships. You build trust. You build reputation. And all of those are forms of capital that eventually lead to opportunity. The most successful people are often those who spent years serving, contributing, helping without expecting return. And then suddenly, all of that gave back multifold. Service also develops you. It teaches you skills. It gives you experience. It connects you with people. All of these are assets that make you more valuable. And when you're more valuable, more things come to you naturally. So if you want everything to come to you, stop thinking about what you want and start thinking about how you can serve. How can you help? How can you contribute? How can you add value? When your focus shifts from getting to giving, everything changes. 8. Faith is the foundation of magnetism. You cannot magnetize what you don't believe in. Faith is not blind belief. Faith is deep trust. Trust that things are working out. Trust that you're being guided. Trust that what's meant for you cannot miss you. Trust that the universe is conspiring in your favor. This faith is incredibly magnetic because it's a high frequency. It's peace, it's confidence, it's grounded knowing. And people, circumstances, and opportunities are attracted to that frequency. They want to be around it. They want to support it. They want to help someone who radiates that kind of faith. But doubt is the opposite frequency. Doubt is low. Doubt is chaotic. Doubt pushes things away. So the question is, do you have faith that what you desire is coming? Or are you doubtful? Because your faith or doubt is determining your frequency. And your frequency is determining what comes to you. A practice: every morning affirm your faith. Say, I trust that everything is working out. I trust that what's meant for me is coming. I trust that I'm being guided. Feel that faith in your body. Let it become your baseline frequency. And watch how life begins to respond to that faith. 9. Mastery attracts mastery. When you commit to mastering yourself, mastering your craft, mastering your discipline, you become magnetic to other masters and mastery. Excellence attracts excellence. Dedication attracts dedication. Discipline attracts discipline. The person who's not serious about their own growth doesn't attract growth opportunities. But the person who's committed to mastery, who's doing the work, who's disciplining themselves, who's pushing themselves to improve, that person attracts everything that supports that mastery. Teachers appear. Resources appear. Opportunities appear. Mastery also requires you to be grounded, focused, and present. And those are all high-frequency states. So when you pursue mastery, you're not just developing yourself. You're also changing your frequency in a way that magnetizes. 10. Gratitude is the master key. If there's one practice that ties everything together, it's gratitude. Gratitude is the frequency of abundance. When you're grateful, you're acknowledging that you already have. And when you acknowledge what you have, you become magnetic to more. Gratitude also shifts your focus from lack to plenty. From what's missing to what's present. From what you don't have to what you do. And that shift in focus changes your frequency immediately. It makes you feel abundant. And feeling abundant, you become abundant. A simple practice that changes everything. Every morning and every night, name 5 things you're grateful for. Really feel the gratitude. Let it move through your body. This practice alone, done consistently, will transform your frequency and your life. The magnetism of mastery. When you understand and apply these 10 lessons, something shifts. You stop being desperate and become peaceful. You stop being attached and become detached. You stop resisting and start accepting. You stop rushing and start patient. You stop being misaligned and start aligned. You stop being selfish and start serving. You stop doubting and start believing. You stop being idle and start mastering. You stop being ungrateful and start grateful. And in becoming all of these things, you become magnetic. You become high frequency. You become the kind of person that life wants to support. You become the kind of person that opportunities want to find. You become the kind of person that success wants to serve. Everything you desire is out there waiting for you, not because you chase it, but because you've become worthy of it. Not because you force it, but because you've aligned with it. Not because you're desperate, but because you've mastered yourself. Stop chasing. Start magnetizing. Master these lessons. And watch as everything you've ever desired begins to flow to you effortlessly, naturally, and inevitably. Folded Hands Buddha Inner Journey *. Subscribe for wisdom on manifestation, abundance, and creating the life you truly desire.